grand idea of doing a shitty podcast.
Yeah, you want to be here.
I do not.
You signed a contract.
You forced your way into my household.
Should I mention that you've signed a contract that I've lost?
A contract that you've lost, which means that is null and void.
But it's on email, except it hasn't been signed.
And if it hasn't been signed, then it doesn't mean it's legit.
It doesn't matter. You've given permission to use your house. You've moved furniture, which means you want to be here.
We didn't sign no contract to say that you're allowed to be here.
Well, I am here, so end of story.
I know. And now we're doing a shitty podcast.
In your shitty house.
On my day off.
Yeah, in your shitty house.
On my shitty house.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Sorry, Nikki.
First thing you said when you walked into this place, it's amazing.
Because Nikki was there.
Because I've made this place amazing.
No. Right, so welcome to the Informed Halfwits, or should I say the Informed Halfwits.
No, that's not what we're going with this.
Right, so why are you here, Jackson? Because as far as I remember, let me just play something real quick, just to recap our memories.
Bye. Have fun, take care, and I'll see you next week at the Stories of the Average Joe.
Thanks for having me, Sahil. I will not be back.
What the hell?
Alright, see you guys.
You said you would not be back.
I told you I wouldn't be back, and then you persistently annoyed me for a week to get me to join a podcast with you. Not even be a guest. This is our joint podcast.
You could have just said no.
I tried to say no, but you just stood next to me. I can't get away from you. We're at work.
Well, work's not that bad.
Work is horrendous.
Work's not horrendous. Is a retail horrendous? Because that's what you keep saying, or is work horrendous?
Retail is horrendous. You can't get in there's not an industry out there that is worse than retail.
Well, I have to disagree because there are things that you can enjoy in retail. Like, for example, if you're just getting into the force, if you're just new in the industry, then why not?
Retail is horrendous. Retail is the worst thing you could possibly be in. The only thing I can think of that is worse than retail would have to be hospitality. And you know what those two both have in common?
What?
Entitled customers.
Well,
how many entitled customers have you met along your retail journey?
I have, but so you're trying to say that the customer is not always right.
The customer is never right.
No, they could be. Like, look at this way. So if you have money, if you're planning to spend money, you walk into a store or you walk into an outlet expecting to get good service. Would you not?
Well, yes, of course, but it's when customers come in with this sense of purpose from somewhere that they expect to get whatever great deal that they've seen at some other shop that isn't even offered here. And they come in and they're all angry and frustrated and targeting the person on the front line. What does that frontline person have to do with anything to do with changing prices and setting up magazines and all that sort of stuff? Nothing.
Yeah, but I do agree that some customers, I think the people who walk in with that frustration or who walk in without, with the intention, with the aggressiveness that you're right and the other person's wrong are people who never really worked in retail. So I think that links to what I was trying to say, because it does make you considerate when you walk into a store or when you deal with people.
I guess the only thing about retail is it is an entry-level thing. For a lot of people, it's their first job.
Yeah.
And it does build your character because you have to deal with crap every single day.
But it also invites a stigma.
It does. There's a stigma to it. I mean, recently I heard an ad on the radio about not targeting fast food workers. And it was not making yourself be superior to someone that is serving you. And that's 100% correct.
Yeah.
Because all that anyone ever gets in retail is crap. You get crap for working in retail.
You do, but I think it's just some customers that have been making things worse. Like, let's say, for example, I'm sure you've met customers who really understand what you're doing, and even if you make mistakes, like, I'm sure that you have nice customers more than you have bad customers in a day.
No.
The only difference is bad customers, they sort of stick to your head. They really get to you.
There are more bad customers than there are good customers.
Well, for that,
100% of the time, there are more bad customers than there are good customers.
Well, I think for that you'd have to be a good worker then.
If you're a good worker, it doesn't matter. You can try your best, and there will still be someone that comes in that is angry at you for something that you can't change.
Yeah. Well, but why are we talking about retail so much? So thinking about the podcast again. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Informed Halfwits, where we talk shit with Jackson Wilder for 20, 25 minutes or 30 minutes.
It's 20 minutes out of my life that I can't get back.
Now, you enjoy this, trust me.
I will not, and I do not.
Well, thinking about that, we did have good responses to the previous podcast, which was a completely different one.
I suggest not going back and listening to that.
I'm surprised you haven't. Like, why not?
I never listened to the other podcast.
Yeah, it's just because you don't like your voice?
I don't like the sound of my own voice, no.
Are you going to listen to this?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to listen to it.
Well, you'd have to, because we've got some pretty good things to talk about in the next few episodes, and you'd have to agree for that.
No, I'm not going to listen back. That's your job.
Yeah.
I'm just here as the voice.
Yeah. So retail, what don't you like about retail? I mean, for me, it's a good experience. I've met some really good people as customers. I've met some really bad ones. But what's something that you don't enjoy?
I don't enjoy. Like I said, I don't enjoy entitled customers. There's nothing worse than a customer coming in all angry, yelling at you for something that you seriously cannot change. Yeah. And when you tell them that you can't change it, it only makes them angrier.
Is this a result of consumerism, like Black Fridays or these festivals where the deals are amplified, if I should say?
Boxing Day sales.
Yeah.
I mean, we just come out, we work together, obviously, and we've just come out of that crazy Christmas period. And nothing makes customers more entitled than that shopping period right before Christmas, where they expect everything to be cheaper than advertised, and they want just throw in a cable, throw in a case, throw in something, give me a sweeter deal. But we can't do that. Yeah. But you tell them that, and they get annoyed and they get angry. Yeah.
But I think when you're a customer who's been with the company for 15 years and you can't reduce $5 on the bill, I think who's at fault? Is it the frontliner? Is it the company? Or is it the consumer to think that way?
The consumer. Go find somewhere else. There's no loyalty anymore. I'm not going to shop at Coles just because I've always shopped at Coles. If Woolies has got a packet of chips for cheaper, I'm going to Woolies. Yeah. There's no loyalty in consumerism anymore. It's just buy what you can for as cheap as you can get it.
You're just a number, honestly.
That's it. You're just a number. There's no loyalty at all. There's no tailoring to the customer. This is what we have. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Yeah.
I think what the companies should focus more on now is making good products. Because in my opinion, companies like Apple and Microsoft and even Google, they didn't become rich because they had more customers. I think the customers bought their products again and again and again, then chose to stick with it.
It's building that quality and that trust. Which now we're such a one-use sort of society. So we buy things, as soon as the new thing comes out, we throw the old thing out, we get the new thing. Yeah. So there's so much buying of new stuff that we don't need. Yeah. Spending money that we don't have on crap.
Just like that Xbox you have there that you don't use.
Xbox that I got for free.
Oh,
that you didn't pay for. No.
We never know what happened.
No, I never paid for that, and the Switch as well. I got that as a gift. So I'm one of those people that I'm living within my means. I'm not going to go spending money that I don't have to put myself into trouble later on down the track.
Money that you don't have to impress people you don't like.
Exactly.
Someone said it in a movie.
Exactly. I don't like it. Yeah. I don't care about what other people think. I think the whole sort of minimalist movement is something that I really sort of look to, because it's only getting things that add value to your own life. So don't go spending stuff on a car just so people can see you in that car and you can be known for, having that new item or whatever it is. Buy something that adds value to your life. Yeah. So if you enjoy books, buy books, because it's adding something to your life.
But I think someone did mention how you can really say if something's worth it is, let's say for example I buy this Mac. The way I can know it's worth it, if it, as a cost per use, how much do you use it after you've bought it? For example, this watch, I bought it for a certain price. I use it every day. I love this watch. So that's sort of, I think watches they add.
But that's something that adds value to your life. If you're buying clothes, you buy all these clothes and you only wear them once. Like you said, you're not getting the value out of it. You're not actually using it enough to make it worth anything.
Yeah, but that's what companies are cashing on. That's what retail is about.
It's about marketing that this is the latest thing and you need this. Yeah. If you don't have this, everyone's going to look at you like this you're behind.
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself?
Giving you things that you may not use
Exactly.
in the future. Yeah. So you know what? What's funny is when you have these festivals like Christmas or Black Friday, you're working when the entire world's celebrating.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And what sucks more is when a customer comes in demanding stuff.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier,
Yeah.
entitlement.
There's entitlement, but people seem to get crazier around these holidays.
Yeah.
And even though, I mean, they're holidays for a reason. You're supposed to have a break. They're always spaced sort of 3 months or 6 months apart. So, you know, you work for a few months, then you have an extra day off. And it's supposed to, you know, have time to relax.
Yeah.
But now retail, they're open on these days. I'm pretty sure we're open on Australia Day this year.
I think we are.
And they've put a holiday on the next day, but we're still open. So it's like they're forcing people to work even on days when they should be having a break.
Yeah.
However, they put the money up a little bit to entice you to do it. And most people that work in retail, like I said, they're entry-level jobs. People are just getting into working, or they're just starting out in retail, or they're sort of at uni and doing stuff. So they need the extra money.
Yeah.
So there's incentive there to work.
Yeah.
So is it helping your mental health or your physical health by being at work on these days where everyone else is having a day off, but you're not? Most likely not.
But even then, you think about the person who's making money behind the counter and then person who's getting a better deal. I think it's all win-win. In a way, if you just look at the surface level of retail, like if you just look at the person who's making money and the person who's spending money, if you have the money, why not? Is sort of also the question.
But there's also this sort of false sense of getting something when you're on these Boxing Day sales or these holiday sales. There's just because they're $20 off doesn't mean that you're saving $20. You're still spending $70 to get the item. It's just costing you $70 instead of $90. You're not saving anything. You're still spending.
Yeah.
And you're still buying stuff that you don't need. So it's sort of just a roundabout sort of.
I think that works best. I'm really saving money if I purchase something on discount that I need for survival.
Exactly. So if you are planning on getting this thing originally that you think that this is going to benefit me, and then it just so happens that it's on sale, then I guess you are getting it for a little bit. Like you're getting it for less, but you're not saving anything. You're still spending money.
You're still
to get
spending
something.
money. Yeah.
I mean, retail in Australia we know about, but I mean, what is retail like overseas?
Well, the thing is, see, the first time I came to a big mall here, the mall we go to every day, the Hurstville Central or Hurstville Westfield.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mall that I've ever seen.
It's a tiny shopping center.
I know. Now I know it's a tiny shopping center after 2 years of going to that shopping center every day. But my point here is retail and malls, these things are huge in Australia. And I've seen news like in the US or the Canada or Japan or China. I think China's got the biggest mall in the world. You have this concept of retail where companies, they set up outlets or stores in a shopping center. Like everyone's there selling supposedly genuine goods, like directly from the outlets. In that part of the world, in Nepal or India, I've seen that you have this sort of a stretch. Like in Nepal, we have this place called New Road, which is where all these small shops are set up.
Yeah.
And they're not owned by companies; they're owned by people. Like
so they're more like a franchise type thing than they are a big company with a storefront.
Yeah. So you go to these shops, and there is a high chance that you're going to get discounts, that you're going to get customer service that's really catered to you.
Because they know what they bought it for, and they're able to discount it because they actually own the product that they're selling.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to a retail place in Sydney or in the city, they don't own that product. The company owns the product, and they've told that person you have to sell it at $60.
Yeah.
But over there, they might have bought it for $30.
Yeah.
And they know they bought it for $30, and even if they sell it for $40 or $50, they're still making a bit of money, so they can sort of bring prices down.
You can sort of personalize experiences there. Like I've never seen 23 years of growing up there in that market. I've never seen this spat or this entitlement of customers. Like everyone's happy. Like you just go in. you talk to you talk to a shopkeeper, you talk to the entire business owner instead of a retailer.
Exactly.
You're not talking to a student or grad student.
Yeah.
You're talking to the person who manages that business,
Exactly.
who knows
This is
how
their
important,
livelihood. Yeah.
who knows how important that one customer is.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference, and I think that's what is creating this complication here as well.
Yeah. Well, there's no. That's why there's no loyalty here.
Yeah.
There's no. You don't go. It's not like going to the corner shop.
Yeah.
That's on the
Yeah.
and buying your drink from there because you know
Yeah.
the owner. You go in there, you have a chat with them. They ask you how your day was. They know about your kids, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But
Here
I think
it's just going to Coles and you just see some checkout person and they just scan
Yeah.
your stuff and you're on your way.
Yeah, but I think it's it depends on person to person. But for me, I would prefer this any time of the day or any time of my life.
It's more convenient.
It's convenient, and you know that if you're purchasing something, you know you're getting it from the company itself.
Yeah. And if you have your complaints,
Yeah.
go to the company, not to the storefront.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have that that sort of
Exactly.
channel as well. Like I saw this. I think I'll share it in the description as well. Or there is. I saw a video from a guy from the U.S. traveling to China and just exploring things. He walks into a shop which has an Apple logo, but is the size of this room. Like it's that small. An Apple shop can't be this small.
Yeah.
So he walks into the shop with an Apple logo and people wearing an Apple shirt,
Yeah.
but it's not really an Apple store
No.
in China.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
Are they still resellers or are they just
You don't know.
reselling counterfeit? You don't know.
It wasn't very evident in the video, but my point is, you can't really rely on that sort of market if you're looking to buy genuine goods.
Genuine, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of overseas consumers will buy stuff direct from here or
Yeah.
the US because they know that
Yeah.
having it delivered from overseas
Yeah.
is a lot more genuine than buying it from where they are.
Yeah. So when we were small, like kids, our relatives or uncles or dads, they used to visit these other countries, and the first thing we would expect from them is to get stuff like toys or whatever, like even a phone that you can get in that market as well.
Yeah. So it's something that it's like that Western sort of
Yeah.
idea of retail sort of infiltrating overseas. It's saying that you're expecting stuff because they're going overseas to that sort of market to get
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And this sort of heavy buying, like, you go and buy stuff from wherever you want. That creates debt as well.
Ah.
So that's how you get
Yeah.
into debt because you just keep buying stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I don't have to go here to get the products that I want. I go wherever I want.
Yeah.
And then you just sort of buy and buy from multiple different sources.
Yeah. What's the debt statistics in Australia?
Debt stats. Let's
Yeah.
have a look. I'm pretty sure Australia is one of the highest statistical debt in the Western world.
Yeah.
Personal debt. Let's have a look.
Are you in debt?
Yes, HEX debt.
HEX.
I mean, debt covers all. So you've got HEX debt, mortgages, all that sort of stuff is included as well as your personal retail.
Yeah.
So Australia is on average between, where are we? I think it's around $80,000 to $160,000 per household.
So you're essentially paying money all your life.
Exactly. You're always going to be paying money back. I mean, that includes your mortgage. So mortgage is one of the biggest sort of debts that you will ever have.
Yeah.
Student debt, credit card debt. So 2% of household debt comes from credit cards. Let's have a look. Personal debt, so other things like buying cars and holidays and things that people think they're entitled to.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That 3.1% of household debt is made up from cars and consumer items. So you've got your credit card debt and your personal debt, which are both retail sort of based items or things that cause your debt.
Like how many Australians pay off their debt?
I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. Because the problem with debt is, depending on the type, it will roll over to your children. So if you don't pay off your debt, soon enough, it just gets passed on to your kids, and not only are you sort of, or they're inheriting your issues and your problems.
So what if you don't have kids? Like you take a credit card, spend the entire limit, you go over the limit,
and eventually you die.
Yeah.
Little get passed on to. I think it gets passed on to the next person. And spending is necessary for a thriving economy.
Yeah.
If people aren't spending money, money isn't circulating around. The value of the dollar is worth nothing if no one is using it.
Yeah.
So there is a need to spend, but it's that spending what you don't have, getting yourself into 80 grand worth of debt, and then that just continuing to snowball and not getting a hold of it.
People do spend on travel as well. But I believe, what's worse than retail in your opinion?
Hospitality.
Why?
The job is good.
Uh-huh.
You're providing a service to people, but it's the same thing as retail. Entitled customers.
Yeah.
Customers that yelling at some poor 15-year-old kid standing in the back trying to flip burgers to make some money so he can, get his life started. And they're yelling at him because he forgot to put a pickle on a burger that he made. Yeah. So, I guess you have to take into account, like you said earlier, if you haven't worked in retail before, you don't know exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
But having that experience of retail, it doesn't matter if they take 10 extra minutes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no need to fight over it.
I think I worked in hospitality quite a few years back, a long time ago, because I studied hotel management while I was growing up. And it's such a it is a very complex industry. You've got to be precise with what you're doing. If it's a martini, you've got to have
exactly this.
Exactly this and that. You've got to put the plates in a certain way. I think that it's very complicated, that one. And that's why customers they believe that when it all comes down to spending money, man. When you're spending money,
I understand why you would be expecting.
Yeah.
You're paying $50 for a service that you think that you should get, and it should be done now.
Yeah.
But unless you've worked in the industry, rather than adding, instead of taking 20 minutes, I'm happy if it takes an extra 10.
Yeah.
I'm still going to get what I want. It's just going to take a little bit longer because obviously I can see it's understaffed in this restaurant today. They've only got 4 people serving. The kitchen's sort of trying to push out orders as quick as possible. You understand that environment and look, if it takes an extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I understand that because I can see that people are under stress. But people that haven't worked in retail and they don't observe what's around them, they'll just sort of say, well, why isn't it here now? I ordered at this time, I expected at this time, otherwise I'm leaving. And look, there are good things about retail.
Yeah.
Character building, 100%. You're not going to go through life hearing people yell at you and stuff and break down immediately because you've had that experience of dealing with it, for however long you were working there. So
I remember once you said during the course of a normal conversation, I believe, that retail is as worse as it gets.
It's only up from here.
Yeah, it's only up from here.
You can't get worse than that.
And I'm really looking forward. It hasn't been so long since I've been here in this sort of environment, and I'm looking forward. For me, when I go to work now, it's normal for me to see someone yelling or someone. I love working in that heat of the moment.
If you're in it for long enough, you get into a groove.
Yeah.
And sort of this is. This happens, it happens, and this is the stuff that we have to follow to make it better.
Yeah.
So it builds your character, it builds your... you have to work on the spot. If you have someone coming in, then you think they're going to... Because my customers that come in angry, that you think they're going to belt you.
Yeah.
They're going to throw a punch at you, and they're going to, start screaming and yelling.
Yeah. I had a friend who worked as a merchandiser for a certain company. And so he used to do these thing put planograms on the wall, similar to what you do.
Put posters up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, what you did. And I remember he told me once. So there's this elderly lady who's shopping around at the supermarket, and then she asks a few questions to my friend, who doesn't really work there, but he's just working as a contractor.
Yeah.
And he answered a few questions and then directed her to the customer service
Because
desk.
he didn't work there.
Yeah, he didn't work there. And she starts hitting him with the shopping trolley or the shopping bag.
That's
Like,
outrageous.
hitting him.
That doesn't even make sense.
And
I
the
can't even figure out. Like, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And my friend was confused. He was not even angry. He was confused at first.
Yeah.
But then he wanted to take things further. Like he
Yeah.
wanted to take matters further. But I think they had some conversation with the husband and the senior lady, and it sort of got settled.
It doesn't make. I don't understand how it goes from asking someone for help, them telling you, you know what, I don't actually work here, so I can't really help you to the degree that you want,
Yeah.
and that turning immediately to violence.
Yeah, but I think the lady was in a certain state of mind that I think she was in a not so normal state of mind.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it happened. But I do remember first when I first started customers, I thought I would just wait for the customer to throw a punch at me because I had no idea what was going on.
But that's how it is.
Yeah, so
But there needs to be more awareness around what retail is like. I think it should be like a mandatory work experience in high school to go and work in a retail place for 2 years.
Yeah.
Just know what it's like. Because it does. It builds your character. And it is good. It's a source of income and it builds your personal sort of skills.
Yeah.
Anyone listening here that has never worked in retail, just get a part-time job in retail. Just work a Saturday or a Sunday, once a week, just a casual, just to experience what it is like out in the world.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone and work in retail.
So the people listening to this podcast around the world, like maybe in that part of the world, like in Nepal, my friends who would be listening would think that they may not relate to retail as much as I have now.
Yeah.
Because it's a major difference.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience in terms of the shopping, the people you talk to on a daily basis as well. So yeah, that's more like a retail tale that sort of connects us, and
I think that basically wraps up our discussion. I guess you could call it.
Yeah, so Jackson Wilder, it's official. We started a podcast.
I know, it sucks. I'm so upset that I'm doing this. I don't think I've been more depressed about something in my life.
I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy the experience now.
I'm not.
Well,
how many episodes did I sign up for on that contract that you lost?
I think 7.
7?
Yeah, 7 episodes of.
Surely we can cut this one into 2.
And then not record the other ones.
And then not record the other ones. That's it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this shithead over here, and to me for how long have we been recording for? I've got no idea.
About
How do you check?
45 minutes.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
It just says 14 here.
14 what?
14 minutes. Anyways, I think that's what I was so confused about. I had no idea we were.
We're up to 45 minutes right now.
Really? Okay.
So we better go before we waste our listeners' time.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see.
You'll see us and hear us next time.
In the next episode. And if you've made it this far listening to the shithead and me, then thank you so much.
And you must not have anything better to do.
All right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Oh my God.
What do you mean it just says 14? If that stopped recording, I'm not doing this shit.
No, it's not. It's not. It is recording. But come over here. How do I stop it? Stop.